Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and this is a tutorial video. In this video, I'm going to show you how I made my placemat set. Just quick to show you the different projects I have. All of these were made with the same steps. The only thing that's different is I changed the yarn color and the size. So let's get started showing you right away, and then I'll show you how I made it. So this is the first placemat. It's a circular placemat. I got inspired by something I saw similar to Hobby Lobby, and I wanted to make my own. So this is my placemat. I then made one that's a little smaller, just a few rounds smaller, but same design. And I used all three colors, so you can make it in a solid color, or you can, make stripes. And then I made an even smaller one for like a coaster, or I have this, I think in my picture, I put my teapot on it. So you could use these as placemats or table holders where you could put like pots or serving dishes or coasters. You could make it even smaller. Actually, I think if I was a coaster, I'd probably make it a little smaller. But all of these were made with the exact same process. The only difference is how many rounds I gave it. So I'm going to get set up here and give you the tutorial on how to make this these placemat rounds. I used mercerized cotton because I wanted the stiffer size, but you could make it out of acrylic or regular cotton. My mercerized cotton was a weight 3, so I used a 4 hook, but if you're using a worsted weight cotton, obviously use the hook size that your placemat would need. Also, one placemat, I was able, if you wanted to make in one solid color, I was able to use with one skein of 100 gram yarn at 185 yards. I actually had enough to make 1.5, but because I was using different colors, obviously I used 5 skeins total for 4 placemats, one like serving pad and like a coaster. But you can use, make, if you want 6 placemats or 4 placemats or, coasters. This is just a generic pattern that you can use to set up any of your own. You just make it your own depending on how many rounds, but I'm going to show you how to start it and to get how I got this swirled look. And then I did make a little tutorial on how to do the border, and I'll tell you again in this video. Okay, get your hook and your cotton, and let's get ready. Okay, so for the first part of the video, I'm going to show you how to make this center piece. For the tutorial, I am using acrylic, but it's similar in the fact that it is a weight 3, so I'm using my same hook. But again, use the hook that goes with the yarn that you want, okay? And then typically people do make placemats and pot holders out of cotton, but I think you can make them out of acrylic. Okay, so to start this, I use the magic ring. You can do this by starting, I want to say, chaining 4 and going back into the first stitch to make the double crochet and start from there. But I'm going to do the magic circle. I'm just going to show you the magic ring. I cross my yarn over so I have this X, and I go under that first arm. I hook this second piece. Whoops, oh, I lost it. Let's try it again. I hook that second piece, I pull it up, I give it a little twist, and then this is my ring. Put my fingers in there, and this is my working loop. I'm going to chain 3, and this first chain 3 does count as a stitch. Now I'm going to do 19 more double crochets into this ring. And a double crochet, you yarn over. You don't really have a stitch, so you're just going around these 2 strands that you held, and you just yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. And so you're going to do 20 double crochets. Well, actually you did a chain 3 of one, or one chain 3, and then 19 double crochets in this magic ring. Make sure you have your pulling strand right here and then your ring, because you're crocheting over both those two. If you've never done a magic ring, oh, I got too many loopers on there. I would suggest to, like I said, chain 4 and then go back into that starting chain and do your 19 double crochets in that hole. Your chain 3 counts there as your first double crochet. You can make this any size you want. So if you don't want to have 20, it's just you need to make sure that it is an even number. So if you don't want it to have it as big, it can be 16, or it could be 18, or you could have it bigger. It might be a little weird, but you can do it. Let's double check to see how many I have here. This is my starting chain, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oop, I just bumped you all, sorry. Okay, and then, ooh, I better give that a little tug. Looks like I'm coming short on it. I have 2 more to do, and then I have my 20 double crochets. That's 1 and 2. Okay, now it's time, just pull that out and set it aside. It's time to close your ring if you went for the magic ring or the magic circle method, which I just like to give it a firm pull and hold it so it doesn't get twisted. Put my hook back in. Now all of us should be at the same point, whether you did the chain 4 and then put them, or if you did the magic circle. You're going to put your first stitch in the top of that chain 3. Not to be confused with that stitch right here. That's the top of that. You got to come way over here to the top of the chain 3, because this is counting. There you go, I got it in there. This is counting as your 20th double crochet. Okay, so I slip stitch, and now I've got a loop coming right off of that chain 3. Do you see that? Okay, so that was round 1. If you want, you can pull this tighter now, but just leave it for now, because now we're going to do round 2. Round 2 starts with a chain 3. That, remember, the chain 3 does count as a stitch, and then I'm going right back in to that stitch and doing another double crochet. So it started with a chain 3 and your first slip stitch, and then I went right back into it and I have a double crochet. That is above this stitch. Now this one, our second stitch, is going to be a front post double crochet. We're not going to go in here into this stitch. We're going around this. So I yarn over, I go behind the post, this is called the post, and come out of here, out the other side of it, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. Do you see that? Now I push this over because this is the same stitch here. Do you see that? Now I'm going to go into this next stitch and I'm going to do 2 double crochets. Because this is going to be a circular pattern, each round has to have an increase. And so that is the pattern repeat. Let's do it again. These 2 went with this stitch. So now we're on our next stitch. We're going around front post double crochet, scoot that over, and then do 2 in the next stitch. It's very important that you make sure you slide over your front post double crochet so it's not covering up your next stitch. So those 2 go on top of that. This is the post that we're going to do our front post double crochet on. And you're doing that all the way around. It's going to be, and then pull that over. Here's your next stitch. 2 double crochets in 1 stitch. And then to your next front post. All the way around. Let's do it again. We did our front post here, slide it over. Here's our next stitch. 2 double crochets. And then now here's the one that we do the front post on. The only thing that's really different about this pattern than many other patterns that are done in the round is that we're not doing 2 in every stitch. We're only doing 2, 1 because we're doing that front post double crochet. Okay, I just did my 2. That goes with that stitch there. This is the one that I'm doing the front post. Now I'm moving it over. This is the stitch that I'm going to do 2 double crochets into. And then I'm scooting it over, and then I'm doing a front post. Hopefully you guys are really understanding how this pattern's going. I'll do a little, I guess I'll finish this whole round with you. I'm now doing my 2 double crochets in 1 stitch. See how they are above that stitch. Now this is the one I'm doing the front post on. Front post double crochet. I think I split my yarn. There we go. See, that's above that one. So this is the next stitch to do 2 double crochets. If you're not careful doing the front post double crochet, if you don't move it over, sometimes you can lose your stitches because it's kind of hard to see that next stitch. So this is the next one for the front post. Pull that over. Here's my next stitch. And 2 double crochets. We're almost to the end. Okay, front post is going to be on this one. Oh, get it in there. Get it in there. And then we're coming to the end. I just did my front post double crochet. You can see we're almost here. I'm going to do 2 double crochets in this stitch. Now don't think you're done here because you're not, because remember this pattern alternates double crochet front post. So what we're going to do to close this round up, and I know this is going to seem crazy, but this is what we're doing. We are going to do a front post double crochet on this chain 3. I know, people, it's like a double dip, but this is what's giving it the nice tight look. I promise you I did this on everything. Okay, so now I did my front post double crochet around that stitch. And now I'm going to slip stitch into here. Okay, I'm going to stop it and get ready for the next round. Okay, so you should have completed with your last front post double crochet, and now you're going to slip stitch into the top of this chain. So you have a front post double crochet, slip stitching to the top of 2 regular double crochets right next to each other. And I don't want to get my tail in the way there. There we go, slip stitch, bada bing, bada boom. Now I am going to give this a little tug just for my own personal sake. But later on when I go to finish it, I'm going to give it a bigger tug and sew it in. Okay, so the next round starts the same as the previous round. So we're going to chain 3 from the top of that chain 3 slip stitch. You see that? And then I'm going to put my next double crochet right into the same place that the chain 3 came out of. See them there together? Nice. And then I have my one standing by itself double crochet. Okay, now here is the front post double crochet from the previous round, and I am going to front post double crochet on the front post double crochet. Okay, so that is what you're going to repeat. We got that chain 3 counting as your first double crochet in the same stitch as your chain 3, 1 standalone double crochet, and then the front post. Now remember, When you do the front post, you got to slide it over because this is your next stitch. And we're going to chain, or we're going to do 2 double crochets. That is the increase for this round. There it is. Here's your next double crochet all by itself. And then here is your next front post double crochet. Okay. That's the repeat pattern. Slide it over, 2 double crochets in the next stitch, 1 double crochet all by itself. Get this over here. And then here is your front post double crochet. That is the increased round. Okay, just go all the way around. Sometimes I know if I'm not paying very good attention, I sometimes forget to do the 2 and 1. And then the 1 single crochet. But you just gotta pull it back and look. I want to remind you all that the reason I put the border as the crab stitch on here is because you're going to see that as you're going along that your work is going to be ruffly and doesn't necessarily lay flat, which was why I opted to do a crab stitch border, because it helped pull it to make it lay flat. 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet right here, and then here is my front post double crochet. Scoot that over, 2 double crochets in that stitch, another double crochet in that stitch, and then whoop, front post double crochet, scoot it over, there's my next stitch. This is the typical from here on out. It's the typical increase pattern that you use for when you're making anything in the round. It's just the first round is different because you don't do 2 in every stitch. You're doing this 2 times in a row. Okay, ready? 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet by itself. There's my front post double crochet. We're coming up to the end. 2 double crochets in 1 stitch. Here's the 1 double crochet all by itself. And then here is my last front post double crochet. There it is. There's my chain 3. There's my last front post double crochet, and then I'm going to slip stitch 1, 2, 3, and the 3rd chain of my starting chain 3 for each round. Slip stitch, give it a little tug. Okay, your next round, so that was round 1, round 2, round 3, we just finished. Now we're going to do round 4. It's a little bit different, but not much. We're going to chain up 3. Do a double crochet in the same stitch as your chain 3. There they are. Chain 3, double crochet. Here's your next stitch. 1 double crochet and the next double crochet. Pull my yarn out of the way, and now is our front post double crochet. That is your repeated pattern. Scoot your front post double crochet. Starts with 2 double crochets in 1 stitch. 1, 2, and then another double crochet and a second double crochet. And now we're going to start with, or end with, a front post double crochet. Do you see how you're starting to see the pattern of how these front post double crochets go up, and then in the middle you have the flats? Let's do a couple more, and then I'm going to stop the video and let you go this whole round all the way around. Remember, when you do a front post double crochet, you got to slide it over so you can see your next stitch, where you'll do 2 in 1 stitch, and then 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochets. And now your next stitch is a front post double crochet. 2 in this stitch, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, and then a front post double crochet. Repeat that all the way around and stop when you get here. You'll end with a front post double crochet and about to a join. Okay, so I just finished this round with my my front post double crochet. Here is a spot where I chained 3 to start my round. I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. Now, as you can see, I'm in here. I'm about to slip stitch. What I want to show you is at this point is where you would change colors if you wanted to. If you wanted to, let me pull this out so I can show you. That is where you change colors, is when you slip stitch to close the round. Otherwise, if you don't want to change colors, you could just pull all the way through and you'd be done. But if you want to change colors, and none of these colors are going to look good with each other, but I thought I would just show you. You can do that, because I'm not going to go on forever showing you this. I just wanted to. Okay, so now I've changed. Do you see how my new loop is right here? I just wrapped it with the new color. Here's my old color right here, the one that I started with. Here's the new color. This is the part that the bit that I'll weave in. And so now I'll just start chaining 3 with my new color, and then I will single crochet right back, or double crochet right back into, there we go, we got that focus better, into the same stitch that I chained 3. So I'm starting off my round the same every time. Chain 3, double crochet into the same stitch. Now this is the next round, and on this next round you are going to do more double crochets before you get your front post. So on the last round you did 2 double crochets in 1 stitch, and then you did 2 standing double crochets. This round it's going to be 1 extra, so you did 2 in the same stitch, and now we'll have 3 double crochets that are standing by themselves, just there. And now we are ready for our next front post double crochet. So that is the repeat pattern per every round. You start with 2 double crochets in the first stitch, then you do 3 double crochets, 1 each in the top of the next stitch. And then you're going to do the front post double crochet. Slide it over so you can see where your next stitch is, and do 2 double crochets in 1 stitch. And then 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Let me do this last bit, and then I'm going to show you. And I'm going to, after I did my 3, I'm going to do my front post double crochet. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. Do you see this front post swirl that's going up? And each round you're getting more double crochets between each front post. And that is how this pattern grows. For this, as you can see, here's the 2 double crochets, and here's the 1. Here's 2 double crochets, and here's 2 before the front post. The next round, this one has 2 double crochets and 3 before the front post. Next round, 2 double crochets and 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, and then a front post. And now this is the last round here where I did 5 double crochets. Now, this one I stopped after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds. After 8 rounds, I did the crab stitch. On the bigger placemats that I made, let's get one of those out. On this one, I did 14 rows. Then the one thing that I did different, and you don't have to do this if you wanted to, if you don't want to, after I did 14 rows, see, low battery mode, I then did 1 half double crochet row, and I did not do any in the front loop or the front post. I stopped. I just did 1 row of half double crochets all the way around. I did continue to do the 2 and 1 when I got to that. So this one is 2 and 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 and 1. So I continued that pattern, but I didn't continue with the front post double crochet because I wanted to give it the border look. And then I finished with the crab stitch. I'll show you the crab stitch on this next round, but I also have a separate tutorial on how to do the crab stitch. So go ahead, continue with this pattern of 2 double crochets for this round in one spot, and then do the 1, 2, 3 double crochets, and then a front post. Okay, and then I'm going to show you, just to finish this video, the crab stitch on this little tiny coaster type thing I'm making. Okay, so I finished going around. I'm still going to finish with a slip stitch. I'm going to join this round with a slip stitch for this little piece of crochet. I'm going to be honest, it looks like a perfect coaster size, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. I'm now going to show here, that's what it looks like. I'm now going to show you the crab stitch, and this is how I finished it. You can choose to do a row of with no, remember on this one I said how I did 1 round where I didn't have any front post double crochet, but for the sake of my battery, I am just going to show you the crab stitch. So I chained 1. Now when we were crocheting before, we were going around this way. The crab stitch is also called the reverse single crochet. So I chained 1. I'm going to go backwards now. Instead of going to this direction, I'm going this direction. And it is the same as a single crochet in American terms. You put your hook in the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 2, pull through 2. You're going backwards into the next stitch, and you continue to single crochet backwards all the way around. And that is what the crab stitch or the reverse single crochet, I don't know if in UK terms they call it the reverse double crochet, but you put your hook in the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2. And so that is what that looks like. That is the reverse single crochet or the crab stitch. And I like to put a crab stitch border on these because, as you can see, it kind of looks, it doesn't lay flat without it being pulled. And here's what it looks like all the way done. You can choose the number of rounds you want to make the size thing you want. This is a coaster round maybe size. This is like, I just imagine this is like kind of like a fancy dinner party. Like maybe you would put like a little salad bowl on here. And then here's your big placemat. And so that is why I made all these different sizes. I will put in the description the typed out pattern, and then you just choose how many rounds you want to continue. It goes 2 double crochets, however many double crochets you want per that round, whether it be 2, and then the next round you do 3, and then you end in a front post. I hope that makes sense. That is the little mini tutorial I have on how to make this. But like I said, in the description, I will type out the full pattern. You just choose how many rounds you want to make your sized mat. Okay, you guys, thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing my videos. And until the next video, happy crafting. Bye.